Hello everyone and welcome back to Shadowverse on the Silent K channel. I think I managed to get my Concede Haven deck up to version 1.0. It seems to be doing pretty well against most decks on ladder. But before we talk about that, a little clarification. After the last video, some people seem to be under the impression that this was supposed to be a gimmick deck. And I'll admit, I didn't help much by describing the deck basically as LOL, remove your opponent's minions until they get annoyed and concede. But that's basically just how the archetype is named. If you want to get technical, Concede is to control basically what face decks are to aggro. In a card game like this, you have three main resources: your health, your cards, and your mana. And while an aggro deck focuses on draining the opponent's health, a face deck is a hyper-aggressive deck that only cares about draining health, even while completely ignoring the board. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have control decks, which mainly focus on destroying the opponent's cards, but at some point a control deck does switch over to making big plays and attacking face and draining the opponent's health. The Concede deck, however, is a hyper control deck which only cares about attacking the opponent's cards. And because enstatued seraph plays into that so perfectly, not caring what the opponent's health is, it basically makes that sort of playstyle possible, as long as there are enough stalls and board clears that are efficient enough to carry you into the late game to play enstatued seraph. So that's the basic idea. You only attack cards, you don't care anything about face damage, and then eventually you play enstatued seraph and win the game. As for the matchups, like I said, this deck has been performing pretty well against every deck I've been up against except for one. It's a little weak against Stormhaven, which is gaining popularity on the level, which is a little disappointing. It almost keeps up with it, but because a lot of the cards in this deck are reactive, and there's a very limited number of good wards to put in the deck, Stormhaven does chip you down just a little bit too much, so it is one of the few weak matchups with this deck. I could throw in the Pious Fox ward, but because it's an amulet, it makes it slower against other decks, and you have to use the countdown reducers on it. So I think teching against Stormhaven would make this deck weaker against other decks, and considering it does pretty well against other decks right now, that's not a concede I want to make. But if Stormhaven keeps gaining popularity and becomes a deck you see very constantly, then I could try teching against that. But like I said, the deck's already slightly weak against it, so that might not be enough. And at that point, you'd want to play a deck that specifically deals with Stormhaven a little better. But for right now, we're going to take a look at the deck as it is. It plays exactly the same as it did in version 0.2. You got your removal, your wards, your healing, all to stall into the late game. I filled it around with numbers for different cards. I did remove Kaguya. She was pretty good against some decks. Dragon sometimes would concede right away as soon as Ephemeral Moon hit the board. But the one major addition is Dark Angel Olivia. I think I said in my review that this is a very deck or meta dependent card because it's going to help you against slow decks, but it's not going to do much against fast decks. But because this deck is very good at stalling, you end up in the late game with a bunch of your followers that have evolve effects, like Sledgehammer, Priest of the Cudgel, and Humpty Dumpty, and they're just sitting in your hand as vanilla minions. So she reactivates all these cards. And you want to play her much like you do in enstatued seraph. If you don't think you can handle dropping her on turn, you can buy a turn with Heretical Inquiry or Death Sentence, which slows your opponents down a lot, and then you can drop her a little more safely on the turn after that. Other than that, it plays pretty much the same. So we'll take it on ladder and see how it does. Runecraft. Oh, I forgot to mention this deck does go
fighting and despair all you know? I guess you're looking for a fight.
Like 50-50 against Dimensional Shift Runecraft, because this is a very slow deck, so it gives them time to put together their Dimensional Shift combo. So it all depends on who plays their win condition first. And Dimensional Shift has gained a little bit of popularity since the expansion. And it's a spell boost rune, so most likely Dimensional Shift, which is bad for us. Because this deck isn't very minion dependent, we can't really play a lot of stuff and beat her down unless she has horrible card draw. So what typically ends up happening is you play minions, she removes them, the game stalls out, and eventually you just lose to Dimensional Shift unless you can get an enstatued seraph on the board before then. And she somehow doesn't have petrification in her deck.
I obey the Lord's will.
Yeah! Unbelievable!
But we do have a lot of minions in the hand, so we can try to rush her down. Play 2 and 2. Heretical Inquiry isn't really going to do much. Maybe we just play Humpty Dumpty as a 3/3. Yeah, we'll stay on curve for now. We got a 4 or 5, and then on 6 we can play some combination of cheap cards.
You're not gonna crack me, are you?
You are done for.
Heartful prayers turn. May my prayers be heard.
Yeah!
Well now.
You're done for.
Whoa!
That's pretty good
I've
for
said
us.
my last prayer.
Unicorn and Sledgehammer? Unicorn and Sledgehammer.
You've gotta see me dance! Unacceptable! The real battle begins. Now you've got me upset!
Cannonball!
And she has cycled most of her hand. I think she only has 2 old cards in her hand, so she can't have anything super spell boosted aside from 1 or 2 cards.
This is your fate.
It won't be long now.
A revelation.
Hey, that hurts! Ah!
We can evolve Radiance Angel, or we can Hallowed Dogma Heretical, or we can trade. Don't really want to play Goblin Mount Demon. She's been having a hard time removing our stuff, so we want to go for the beatdown tactic. Radiance, trade the 2/3, or Radiance Evolve. We don't really have anything else in the hand that needs evolving, so. Turn 7 we have 5+2 if we need it, and then turn 8 Odin. Yeah. I don't really want to
Lost in wayward
waste my last evolve point, but she has none left, so that's good.
Let us conclude.
And we can't let her keep Merlin. And we do want to do face damage, so
heaven's word.
Hammer of purity!
My time has come.
Unbelievable!
it seems like the best play.
The darkness
Running Witch Bolts seems odd for a spell boost deck that doesn't have a lot of minions. That's a nice slow turn for us. I think we popped the Heretical. We could leave it up and hope that she has no way to do massive amounts of damage next turn, but it is Dimensional Shift Rune, so I wish I had two of these things in my hand right now. That way I don't get Runeblade summoned. Maybe we drop the Goblin. Maybe we drop the Goblin mount just to be safe. Three for 5. We only need 3 damage next turn. But we're left with 1 minion instead of multiple minions. Nah. We'll just pop this. No ward. She needs a very specific combo to kill us in 1 turn. And she's been cycling too many cards to have
May you rest in peace.
all 3 parts of that combo.
You've gotta see me dance! Hammer of Purity! Unbelievable!
I'm too handsome to go.
I'm through.
Alright, not bad. We won against D-Shift Rune, which is one of the weaker matchups of this deck, but she obviously had horrible card draw.
I pray that you will be freed from suffering.
We did get to remove 2 huge threats using this deck's technique, but mostly we just beat her down with minions, so a success, but not a good demonstration of the deck's strengths. Versus Forest. What the hell was that name?
Is fighting and despair all you know? Time for me to prove myself.
This deck has gone up against traditional combo Forest and the new mid-range Forest, and it's beaten both pretty easily, so should be a good matchup for us. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bon.
Don't hurt me! You've gotta see me dance! Come on, let's play! Hey, that hurts! Unacceptable!
As I said in the last video, this deck has tons of removal, so
Ding dong!
you shouldn't be afraid to play removal cards as just vanilla minions if you have to.
Ah!
We got 2 Sled Trimmers in the deck, and better removal as the game goes on, so it's fine to play them. Question here is whether to play a sister or not, just to keep board presence. I don't have to because I have Humpty Dumpty to fall back on. So
Hammer of Purity!
I guess we'll just hold on to it for now.
Come on, let's play!
Please settle down!
Hey, let's play!
Stop!
Goblin mount, perfect. I didn't really want to evolve Humpty Dumpty this early.
Get to work!
Force protector.
Come on, let's play! You're done for!
The journey continues.
Let's retreat!
Whoops.
You're not gonna crack me,
What the hell? I was aiming for Themis. I don't know what the hell happened there.
You're not gonna crack me, are you?
Well, whatever. We'll do the 2-card
You're
combo.
done for!
This is a terrible play, by the way.
Papa loves gold!
Ooh!
What we're doing here is lulling her into a false sense of security. Now she thinks we don't have Themis. Pro level plays.
Don't hurt me! Hey, let's play! May the forest be at peace. Hey, let's play!
Themis. Hopefully we enstatued next turn.
I'm gonna rest for a bit.
Doesn't look like the mid-range forest though. Looks more like Path to Purgatory.
Where do you think you're going?
Robin Hood's an oddball though.
Hey, let's play! It won't be long now! I'm not letting you get away!
You don't think she had lethal, do you? I hope not. What could she possibly do? Rhinoceros madness. But that's 6. Can she do 12 with Rhinoceroses on 8 mana? Probably. We have to take a risk anyway though. We don't have any removal in the hand for some reason. Because we never got to play Sacred Plea. There you go, have fun with that.
To stand before me is foolishness.
No, that's not lethal. Easy win.
This ends here!
The world sprawls before me.
Stop! Stop!
Exodia combo, activate.
May you rest in peace. May you rest in peace. I will liberate you.
GG.
And so our prayers become victory.
Whoa, you're strong. I pray that you will be freed from suffering.
Seen a few people add Gilgamesh to their decks. It being added into classic decks is kind of curious. Not sure why. It doesn't seem to counter anything in particular, but whatever. It is just basic burst damage, so who knows. This is Dragoncraft.
fighting in despair all you know?
This one's for my family.
Dragoncraft games tend to be long, but I do tend to win against them, so another favorable matchup. I've played against Disco Dragon and just your basic wait until the late game and play a lot of Storm Minions Dragon.
Ding dong!
Black in Scripture? No? Okay. You don't technically have to play the Unicorn Dancer, because it just gives them something to smash the bell ringer against, but...
You gotta see me dance!
I'm not gonna hope for a Black in Scripture. We got a lot of cheap stuff to play.
No! La 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 la!
Hit for 0, cure for 0.
I obey the Lord's will.
I can't keep relying on you, Dragon.
Or Black in Scripture. Actually, I want Sacred Blade more. Him ramping isn't actually an issue against this deck as long as you have a lot of removal options.
La 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 la!
All the Unicas, all of them.
You've gotta see me dance! You've gotta see me dance! Oh yeah!
What?
Yeah. We got the entire dancing troupe here.
You're done for.
We'll give him the mono.
I can be great. Oh yeah!
May my prayers be
Oh yeah!
I've gotta take a break. Ding dong!
Be gone.
That's not gonna get through.
Bells of joy are ringing!
What? Dragon New Fist. This Disco Dragon.
That hurt!
We got 6, 7, and 8. It's not the best 6, 7, and 8 though.
May you rest in peace. The real battle begins. Calm thy fears, lost change your
May
heathen
my prayers
ways.
be heard.
Dragon Song Flute.
I've said my last prayer.
Come on, Odin. 4 3s. We got Humpty Dumpty for 4 3s.
Change your heathen ways.
Spellbook decryption. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ! That's some greedy ass deck.
Blew you away.
That's not bad. Odin evolves into a 6/5. Goodbye.
Make haste, Sleipnir! The battlefield towers!
Let us conclude.
Gungnir, the god of war, here reigns!
Before creation, there was destruction.
A true warrior of Valhalla.
Do we take the 7 damage? Worst case scenario, he has a second Genesis Dragon, and that's 16 damage. And then we Themis', but we don't have mana to play anything else. And then we get stormed down by another minion. That's unacceptable, so we're going to have to clear here.
I return.
No sacred pleas yet.
Despair,
Oh,
come to me.
that deck just runs everything, doesn't it? Alright. GG. Radiant Scobble Mount.
Lost in wayward ones!
Oh, I played that in reverse order. I'm dumb.
Get to work!
Jesus Christ, this deck plays literally everything. This is the greediest dragon deck I've ever seen. Oh my god. Oh my god. If my draw was a little better, I wouldn't have a problem handling it either, which is the saddest part. If I had some Sacred Pleas and death sentences, it wouldn't be an issue. Oh my god.
You're not gonna crack me, are you? You're not gonna crack me, are you?
Obey heaven's word!
I still got a freaking evolve point left. Oh my god.
Let's retreat! I'm too handsome to go. I'm too handsome to go.
The darkness.
No!
Yay! Enstatued seraph. $11 damage on the board. Plus, at the start of your turn, 16 damage. Themis doesn't do much besides buy us a turn, because we can't combo it with anything. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. This deck is probably the only deck that one will win against, because it's just so slow and greedy. Give that guy a round of applause. That was hilarious.